Today we're going to be running a deck that involves a lot of green, but I'm doing something that a lot of you might find a little crazy, and that is I'm not running any Asika's Chariots or Renin 7s. And I know what you're thinking.
Wait, what?
Trust me, you'll like this one. Cue the intro, let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're talking about a BANT list, and 'tis the season for control, or it must be, because today we're playing another control list for you. But man, these have been turning out so great for me lately thanks to the new Innistrad set and all the additions we got to control. Today though, it revolves around our friend Coma, as well as a couple all-around epiphanies. I can't wait to break this thing down because the synergies in this deck are actually pretty wild, and there are some really cool side game plans built within this deck. But as always, before I dive in and start, discussing the deck and get into the gameplay footage, if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you like the content, I just ask if you take a moment to do so. It's a free way to help support the channel, and it really helps, the channel grow and get put out to more people and more eyes. So I'd really appreciate that. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll be notified whenever we post a video, which is 3 times a week. That way you don't miss out on any future content or any live content when we go live every Wednesday. So with that being said, let's talk about the deck a little bit, because you guys know I just talked about the Coma and the all-runs epiphanies, kind of our win con, just try to get a lot of mana out there, pump a lot of mana onto the board to get Coma and all-runs epiphany popped. That way we could just kind of run through our opponent. The serpents become a little bit too much for them, we overrun them, and we just kind of run through our opponent. So we have to get there though safely with our life total intact, right? So we have a lot of control cards to do so. I've mixed it up quite a bit, and we have a lot of options here, a lot of new cards too. We've got 3 Fateful Absences. Some of you guys might not like this card. I know this card's very polarizing in the community. Giving our opponent a clue to draw a card is very off-putting to a lot of people, but to remove a planeswalker or creature for 2, it's really, really good value, guys, and I think it's a great card on its own, but giving up a clue is a little bit off-putting, like I said. So we do have ways and synergies to make this card work pretty well in this deck. One of those ways is Yasharn. Yasharn is a great way to find our mana in order to get to our bigger plays like Coma down the road. So Yasharn is going to get us a lot of ramp. But what's also great about Yasharn is its passive ability to not allow our opponents to sacrifice, treasures or clue tokens in order to gain value off the board. They can't sacrifice things on the board to activate abilities and things like that. So Yasharn will shut down our opponent's ability to use the clue, which is really nice. Another way we deal with our own clue, giving our opponent a clue here, is our sweeper of choice is actually going to be Ondu's Inversion. So Ondu's Inversion is going to be our sweeper of choice, even though it does cost 8. I know that's really, really hefty, but it's not inconceivable for us to get to it, and we actually get this card to go off quite a bit. And the reason I chose Ondu's Inversion is not only because of the fact that we give our opponent a clue, but sweepers like Doomscar, right? They're great and everything, but typically right now in the meta, guys, and I'm sure you're all feeling this pressure as well, whenever you sweep the board with the Doomscar, what are you typically left with on the board state? Your opponent still has a Renin 7 and then a Asika's Chariot, right? That they do. I mean, let's just be real. That's how it works. So Ondu's Inversion actually removes all permanents on the battlefield. And what's also great is Coma has indestructibility if you sack a serpent. So Ondu's Inversion really was put into this deck as a way of dealing with all the planeswalkers, all the artifacts, all the creatures, all at once, because those mono green lists, those lists that have any sort of Renin 7 Asika's Chariot combo, this is a great way to deal with it. But it also helps with our clues as well. So enough said on all that though. Let's jump down to the next card here. We have Sunset Revelry, another new card in the Innistrad set. It's a great way to build value in the board early if you want to just get 2 creatures out. Typically if you're up against aggro, you can get down 2 creatures pretty quickly, maybe even gain a cheeky 4 life if you've lost 1 or 2 life total in the beginning of a game. But it's got also a draw card attached to it as well. So there's a lot of ways this card can be helpful down the road. And for 2 mana, it's a lot of value you can't miss out on. And I've upped Test of Talents recently into all of my control decks to 3. And the reason being is because you have a lot of cards that the Test of Talents is really good against. What is the new mono green Innistrad card? There is a Innistrad card that is going all around here that's phenomenal. It's this one right here, Storm the Festival. This is a great card for us to hit with our Test of Talents because it has flashback, and it's kind of like the go over the top win con for all these green decks as well. So just something to think about. Test of Talents being really good right now in the meta, especially against that card is pretty huge. Anything with flashback, you got the memory deluges, a lot of good targets. Then we've got 2 Inscriptions of Abundance to get our health back if we ever need it. We can pump up our coma and get through a lot of the fight a lot of the creatures on the board and get through a lot more damage. And then we've got 3 Decisive Denials for a flex counter spell, but at the same time it can also fight, so coma going to be fighting a lot of things. Then we've also got 3 Divide by 0, gives us access to a sideboard, 4 Memory Deluges for some card draw, some flashback action, and then 4 Cultivators to help us ramp into the late game. We've also got 2 Hall of the Storm Giants as our creature land of choice, and we only elected to go with 3 each of the double-sided lands so we can get more basics in here, because we're going to be fetching the basics with our creatures here. And also the divide is also going to open up the fact that we can get environmental sciences. But yeah, this is going to be our sideboard here. We got 2 environmental sciences, 1 reduce, 1 teachings, 1 containment breach, 1 introduction, and 1 mascot exhibition. Fairly simple sideboard here. A lot of options though. And that's going to do it, guys, for the breakdown. I hope that made sense, all the synergies and everything like that. And we're going to dive into the gameplay footage now. Enjoy. The games were really fun. And we'll meet you guys back here for some final thoughts. Peace. All right, here we go. We're playing some BANT today, and we're doing it without Ren 7. We're going to see how well we do. We actually have a pretty solid plan, I think, when it comes to Ren 7 with this deck. We get to go first. This hand is scary, I can't lie. This hand is very, very scary. If I find a green source, it could be pretty good though. I think I'm gonna have to mulligan it though. Ugh, it hurts. It hurts, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, we can put... Guess we can put the coma back, huh? I guess so. Let's hope we get a target for that divide by 0 so we can go get an environmental sciences for our green source. And hopefully get the luge out on time too. That would be great. I might be asking for too much though. We'll see. We'll see. Well, if I want to curve, I might have to play this as a land, unfortunately. At least we're not up against the green deck, so this may not be as important. It looks like maybe it might be a control list. The reason I say control is just because of the snow factor. Not the fact that they're Dimir, but the fact that there's snow. It's a pretty good indicator that they're running control, because what else would you run snow for unless you're running either, the zombies that run the snow, or, things like blood in the snow. So it's a good chance. See if we can get one of these deluges to hit. Probably not, but even if it gets countered, it's a good spell for us to get countered on, because we get it back, through the ability to, flashback. So I'm okay with this being countered. But it does go through, and we get a green source. I think a denial actually is more important here than an all runs epiphany. Because I'm going to need to counter stuff, right? I'm going to need to counter their things, because they're going to be running all runs epiphany of their own. See if I can get another deluge off here. So not really getting the whole ramping plan going here. Didn't find any of our ramp cards. No Yasharns, no cultivators, but still doing okay. The fact that we're up against another control list is a little bit tricky. I really would like to find a test of talents. Things that counter are really good against our opponent here, because any sort of control matchup, you're gonna want answers like test of talents, which would have been really good there against that memory deluge, because you get to exile these things from the graveyard, so the flashback won't work. Wow. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. We are getting absolutely destroyed by our own deck here with the mana. We can play the Hall of Storm Giants here because it's tap land. I want to get out of our hand as soon as possible, but also we'll have enough mana to do both the divide and decisive denial if we need to. And we do got to remember that divide by 0 does actually take the card from the flashback position, and it gets rid of it permanently. It's like a counter spell on those cards. So we'll get another blue source because we have a couple green sources in hand here and a white source. So blue's going to be probably the most important color we need, right? We are one away from casting the Coma, by the way. But I think I need to wait on that. I think we wait on Coma until we can hold up Counter Magic or Divides to be able to bounce things or counter things, because if they have instant speed removal, which you know Dimir does, so it's like you got to play around that. Looks like it hits. Nice. All right, we're definitely gonna take that. And more Counter Magic. Counter Magic, though, with these decisive denials at this point in the game is pretty much like, you know, not gonna work. If I'm being completely honest, because they're gonna have all the mana in the world to pay for the cost. Cultivator? I think I am gonna play the Cultivator, because if it lands, we actually get another land, which does open up the divide by 0 still. So I'm worried about only having 2 lands out here, but you know, decisive denial is there if I miss. This is also nice too, because if they don't counter, which is not worth countering, then they have to take care of it through other measures, which is like, you know, removal. And if they spend the removal on this, there's less things for them to hit our Coma with. So I'm cool with that. Perfect. That's one of the cards I was expecting them to have. Infernal Grasp, which would have been a nightmare for Coma. Gonna let that go. I still wish I had my Test of Talents here, but I think I'm going to give my Coma a go. That leaves me with the 1 decisive denial ready to go, which is not enough here, unfortunately, to stop any sort of counter. Well, it's not going to get countered, but it's not enough to stop any sort of removal spell. So maybe we wait 1 more turn. That way we have a divide as well. Yeah, we really want them to use up their resources, right? So let's just do that. Let's just wait 1 more turn. Throw down the Coma, which can't be countered, which is great. And then they're going to try to spam a couple of removal spells. And when they do that, I will not only decisive denial, but I'll also divide back to my hand. I'll probably divide first to draw out a counter spell, and then maybe a decisive denial, but I don't know. Something tells me that they were able to find our Test of Talents, even though we've been digging for it forever. That's typically how these things go. Tough game, man. It's like every time you try to run control, you typically end up going up against more control. That's a good divide, actually. That was my Coma. Oh my goodness, that was my Coma. Duh, they didn't have any green mana. That's huge. Okay. That is huge. Where's my Test of Talents, man? I'm begging you, game. I guess we spam decisive denials, huh? All right, let's give this a shot. Let's get all these in order so I know how many we have of each. All right, so 3 decisive denials, 1 divide. Darn it, I thought I had 1 extra land here. I did that incorrectly. That's fine though. Fateful Absence is probably the least impactful card, and then we could dip on one of these denials. All right, wish we had Test of Talents, but it's fine. Wow, the Serpent hits. Okay, we're good. We're money. I thought for sure they would have an answer for that. The Serpent actually hits. They're probably thinking that they can run Meat Hook Massacre, which is amazing. I much more, you know, prefer that than instant speed removal. Yes. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. We got him. We got him. And now they only have 2 mana left over, which means we have a free All-Runs Epiphany here and another decisive denial to protect it. Unless they run the gate here. Didn't think that they did. Those people don't run negate right now. I guess they could have the test of talents themselves, but maybe Infernal Grasp here, which is totally fine. They take 2 and I go indestructible. I can't believe this panned out the way it did. We kind of called our shots to what our opponent was trying to do. That always feels better. Like, that's the best feeling, is when you know what your opponent's trying to do and you're able to game plan against it and it pays off. Test of talents. It's either that or negate, right? Oh, I guess it could be disdainful stroke. Either or. No matter what happens, we have this and we protect it, and it's GG. Let's go, baby. Solid first game. I do hope we get like a green style of matchup so I can try out that game plan with the Ondu inversion. I think it'll be a lot of fun. This deck probably could even use a couple more like cheaper sweepers too, but hopefully our ramp plan just kind of helps us, you know, get to where we need to go, and all of this control that we have up until the 8th drop. This hand is weird because it's not bad with the Sunset Revelry, but at the same time, if we miss our land drops, we could be in a lot of trouble, but I think we can get there. I'm going to gamble on this one. Usually that doesn't pay off for me very well, but we're going to give it a shot. Really hope it doesn't bite me in the butt. Looks like we are up against maybe another Ren deck, but it's not. It's got some white. Okay. Cleric's life gain, more than likely. If I play this now, it puts me at 5. They're at 6 cards, so I do get a card off of this. This is definitely worth playing now. We get 2 out of the 3 right away. That's a huge swing for us. All right, so we get another land. Just need one more. One more land and we'll definitely hit our land drops. Preferably a blue source. Selesnya, okay. You've piqued my interest. Okay. So it is probably a Selesnya Clerics list. The Moon Dancer is probably something we should be looking out for. Alright. This is fine. Fatal Absence is not bad right here. Especially because this priest is going to get bigger and bigger. It's a good one to just shoot down. There's a couple of things here that we're going to want to just shoot down. Like that. They are going to get a couple of cards here though off of us. All right. Enjoy that. All right, we get another land, which is phenomenal, but at the same time, Yasharn gets us more lands, but the Righteous Valkyrie more than likely going to gain a lot of life here, but totally worth it, I think, to get the Yasharn down. Because it not only like gets us more mana, right? It also thins the deck to where our likelihood of drawing blue mana is more likely because there's less cards to pull from, and the odds go up, but we'll see. Odds don't necessarily translate, you know? By the way, Yasharn, I totally forgot to mention. I don't know if I mentioned it. Well, actually, I'm shooting my intro after this. Never mind. Yasharn plays really well with the clue because the clue needs to sacrifice, right, to draw a card. Yasharn stops that from happening. There's a couple of different ways this deck has some synergies with stopping them with that whole clue thing. So that's why it's in the Fateful Absence. That's why it's in the deck. Okay, but they just say I'm going to destroy that anyways. Target control deal. Okay, damage equals to power to target creature planeswalker you don't control. When a permanent don't control dies this turn, you gain 2 life. That's actually really good, especially for this deck. Wow. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. All right, so now we go. Oh, we have no blue. We can't get this. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I was gonna play that to get the blue, but I need a blue to get the blue. All All right, that's fine, I guess. I mean, the Valkyrie is out here that we can kill with the absence. They think we're Selesnya too, which is funny. They're gonna get to use the clue now for sure. They're gonna draw a couple of cards actually because we have to use the Fateful Absence instead of our Denial, which is what I was hoping to do. Okay. Let's see if they can target this 1/1 counter on the Valkyrie before we blow it up. Because if we would have blown the Valkyrie up before they decided on which creature to put that 1/1 counter on, they definitely would have obviously put it on the Soulmender. So, good thing we did that after the fact. All cards in our hand require blue. Ah, man. Yikes. Can we just get one blue land, please? The likelihood of blue should be pretty high, I would hope. Onto Inversion looking pretty good too right now. We have 6 mana. We need 2 more. So if we can just find 1 blue source followed by an Ondu's Inversion, that would be the best possible scenario for us, I think. Hopefully they swing in with that now. That'd be great. Because it's a way for them to generate 1/1 counters all day. Let's go. We hit our blue source, which means we hit another blue source. Which means Decisive Denial becomes a thing. I think we're going to make it out of this, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little worried there. I didn't think we were going to be able to make it out of this alive, but now I'm feeling a lot better. A lot better. We have Test of Talents for any sort of trickery. We've got Decisive Denial here to fight some stuff. I think I'm going to have to Decisive Denial right now because, yeah, they're going to make that too big. Plus that thing, like I said, it can tap down and keep gaining them life, which I'm not too worried about. But what I am worried about is the fact they get a 1/1 counter every time it taps down, right? So we're definitely going to kill it real quick before it gets too big. All right, that's gone. We have a Coma ready to go almost next turn. I am worried about things that can fly, right? I'm worried about more Valkyries and whatnot. Still wouldn't mind an Ondu's Inversion so we can get rid of the Cleric class as well, but should be okay, I hope. It's another Valkyrie, of course. Of course. Yikes, man. That was literally the worst possible card we could have seen come off the top of our opponent's deck here. Definitely want to get that inversion now. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Memory Deluge wouldn't be bad either. I know I could have triple blocked that, but I think it's fine to just do what we gotta do to survive. For as long as possible. Memory Deluge, that's the card we were looking for. All right, let's go find ourselves an Ondu Inversion here. There it is. And this is actually not bad at all paired with the Coma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can kick this now actually and put 2 1/1 counters. And that would put me at a 5. Not big enough. Not big enough. All right, we'll pass the turn. Pass the turn. Big Ondu Inversion coming your way. And then we have another Memory Deluge too. Let's hope they really spam the board here with their permanents. Oof. That's annoying. Okay. That's actually really annoying. Wow. That is about as unfortunate as it kind of gets, to be honest. I might just do the Inscription of Abundance just to gain some life here, to be honest. Because that's a lot of damage getting through. All right. So. We do it like that, and then we're gonna gain 5 life off of this before we take this hit, because we're gonna Inscription of Abundance. And we have to fight something though, which does actually lower the toughness of said creature, which then means I take more damage from this. So if I gain 5 life, I'm losing 3 defensive power. That's still net positive by 2. So I think that's fine. Oh, we get half the counters though. Ouch. Forgot about Vorinclexes giving me half the counters. That's so sad, but that's okay. That's okay. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have held and waited out until I could have used it on Coma, but it's all right. Vitalize? No thanks. There aren't too many targets for Test of Talents when you're talking about aggro, so you might as well use them whenever you get the chance. Whatever sort of spells they want to cast. Alright, so now we got the Coma, which is great because we can use Coma's ability to make our opponent tap down their flyer every turn if we choose to be. We're not going to because it's just a 1/1 at the moment. So we're going to save these 3/3s for some damage that we're trying to get through at the moment. Alright. They're going to try to get me dead. I would assume they're going to try to attack here. Put me on as big of a clock as possible. Man, this game ended up being a lot trickier than I thought it would be. Another Test of Talents. Yeah, let's go for the big Memory Deluge. I want to get deeper into my deck here. Some spot removal seems more than okay. Maybe in a Divide to just bounce some stuff back to their hand. We have enough mana to do that this turn, so let's do it. Let's get another Serpent. Prior to combat, we will just tap down their Phantom. Alright, Phantom's tapped. Wouldn't be surprised if our opponent scooped at this point. We've got it pretty locked up now. We got him down to 20 already. And like I said, we have answers in the hand now for days. We can keep tapping the Phantom down over and over again, so they're not going to make any sort of progress, even if it is just one. I'm surprised they're holding on to anything. I would expect it. All right. If we divide that back to their hand, it's actually kind of annoying. I don't think we have a good answer for this. Just divide it back to my hand, I guess. Just wish I didn't have to do that. Just wish I didn't have to do that, you know? I could have tapped down their Phantom before I did that, but I didn't really want to. It's a good answer for Coma, by the way. That is not bad. I like that card a lot. Let's go Yasharn. Like I said, Yasharn stops them from being able to use the Faithful Absence clue. So, how do we want to do this? There's so many ways we can close this game out, but at the same time, there's probably a couple ways we could screw this up. I think I'm going to go here and then just go Decisive Denial. Or I go Yasharn, either one. I'm pretty sure it's over though. We have Decisive Denial for the, you know, the Phantom. We can kill it. Land, that's a good sign. And we kill the Phantom. Test of Talents for any sort of other spell. Nice. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. So far, so good. I figured as much, though. I knew this deck would be pretty good. Coma has been absolutely amazing for me lately. Aside from the instant speed removal scares, that card's pretty phenomenal. And, you know, running 3 of them here and making it our main win con is pretty good. And BANT offers up a lot of control, you know? And the synergies that we have as far as, like, destroying our own, you know, clue tokens we give our opponent and stuff is really nice. This could be a really good hand if I find land again. I don't know what this whole land situation is, what this is all about, but I go first with 2 lands. I don't think I can keep it. I just don't think I could. This hand is much better. I feel really good about this. Okay, no ramp unfortunately, but you know what? You know, beggars can't be choosers, so it's all good. All right, we got Snarls coming down. So this is going to be an Is It Dragons, huh? So this Decisive Denial and Divide are going to be really good in this matchup. All 3 of these cards very, very good here in this matchup. Don't know about the Revelry yet. We'll probably get a card out of it for sure. But let's see. All right, Inscription of Abundance. Probably a deadish card here if I'm being completely honest. No iteration, huh? Thank goodness for that 4th land. We really needed that. I wish it would have been on tap, but again, beggars can't be choosers. Got to take what we can get there on the landfall. Memory Deluge coming up. Quakebringer. Oh, okay. So you guys are playing some giants. I've been seeing a lot more giants lately. All right, Quakebringer I can definitely send back to their hand, I think. Undo Inversion. Gosh, I want to play Memory Deluge so badly here, but I feel like I have to play the Sciences here. I feel like I have to keep the land drops coming. If I don't, we might get in a lot of trouble down the road. So I think that's the case. And then we just draw a card here. That's a pretty good chump though. It's a pretty good chump to our Quakebringer here, so let's just hold on to it. Decisive Denial still available here, but more than likely they're going to play that Quakebringer, so. Undo Inversion gonna be really, really nice. Whenever Flinger attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, sacrifice creatures or sacrifice Flinger deals. Wait. When you do, Flinger deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to any target. Okay, so it acts as a fling. That's twice the damage instead. Okay. Very odd card, but seems pretty powerful. All right, we're gonna go here, and then we're also gonna go into the Memory Deluge this turn. So now we got bodies to block with. We've got Test of Talents, which is interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be very good against giants. It could hit a Glimpse. That would be a really good card to hit, honestly, with the Test of Talents, because the Glimpse can keep coming back over and over again, right? So, all right, that's fine. That's fine. Deals 2 damage. Okay, I could put 2/1/1 counters on that. That could actually be very interesting, but I think I'm gonna let it go. I think I'm gonna let that go. I could have put 2/1/1 counters on it, and that would have negated that 2 damage there. But it looks like they have a Frostbite anyways. Test of Talents could be decent here, but I think I'd let that resolve. I'm more worried about the Glimpse than anything. Glimpse the Cosmos. They don't sacrifice a creature here. See what we can find. All right, that's not bad. And we also need to keep hitting our land drops, but at the same time, I also want to kill stuff. I feel like I have to keep hitting these land drops though, in order to get to this Undo Inversion. This will be the final land we need to get there. So let's do that. Let's get to that Undo Inversion. And then at the same time, we have Decisive Denial. So I could do that now so they have nothing to fling. Tricky, man. Tricky. All right. I could also throw down an inscription of abundance to give 2/1/1 counters, making it a 5/6. And I could block, but it would just bounce right off of the other creature. I don't know. Maybe they sacrifice one of these giants here with the flinger and send it towards the cultivator. And in that case, we can pump or we can have the cultivator fight. 8 damage. Okay. It's a lot of damage. Times 2. Oh my goodness. Double the damage. Double the damage. Yikes. And then Quakebringer deals 2 damage on entry. Shoot, man, this is not an easy decision here. This is not easy. I think we just gained a life. Unfortunately, I think we gained a life here. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal, but at least it keeps us from dying to the Quakebringer, right? Because the Quakebringer is going to deal 2 damage on the turn. So let's go ahead and block Ondu's Inversion, this whole board. All right, the flinger turned out to be a much bigger problem than I thought. I let that live way too long. Could have grabbed some removal for that earlier, but instead decided to prioritize the Ondu's Inversion, which was a big mistake. And then we can Memory Deluge again here. We have so much mana to work with. We can Memory Deluge. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves me with 2. 3 mana total left over after this. And should be able to find some removal for that. We do find removal. But even if it's in the graveyard... Oh, they need a giant on the field, though, for it to deal the damage. So this is fine. And then another... Ooh, a Sunset Revelry could be really good here because it can gain us life, right? So let's do that. And let's just go ahead and kill this. I know we give up a card here, but there's not a whole lot we can do about that right now. Let's just give up the card. Quakebringer not dealing us damage is kind of all we care about. We have the 7/7 giant of our own as a land. Can't forget about that. We got to start finding our finishing pieces here. Some All-Runs Epiphanies, some Comas would be nice. They have a clue they can use now too, by the way. All right, they eat the clue. All right, so now it's gonna be our turn. Beautiful. All right, and we do find a Coma. We in fact find the Coma, but first we're gonna play the Sunset Revelry. Then we play the Coma. We needed to gain that life, and the creatures are also very helpful. We have nothing to protect the Coma though, so if they have like some crazy, like, oh, they could have Squash, huh? Yikes, that's not good. I should have probably saved Test of Talents. If the Coma dies here, that's definitely on me. I totally forgot about Squash as being a relevant card in the Giants deck. Nope, we survive. I get lucky. I get lucky. I need to figure out a way to get these Giants off the field though, because our opponent has a Quakebringer in the yard, which is not good. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana left over. So if I Memory Deluge, I can have up to 7 mana potentially. Does Quakebringer only deal on their turn? Let me read here. Quakebringer deals 2 damage on each. Wait, at the beginning of your upkeep. Okay, that's all I needed to know. All right, they get off a Glimpse, which is what I really wanted to test anyways, but unfortunately not able to do so. They can do it again too. Big yikes. What's nice though is if I deluge here, I can go into an all runs epiphany. That's really what I'm looking for. That's why I wanted to know if Quakebringer was going to deal me damage on my turns, because I need to make sure I can get the all runs epiphany going. That's interesting because I can make my Coma indestructible and then do Ondu's inversion here. And that does leave me enough mana for a decisive denial the following turn. All right, I think we do that. All right, so Coma's the only thing on the field, which is great. And then we have a decisive denial. So if our opponent wants to cast a creature, or I'm sorry, yeah, a creature, we will fight it immediately. So that's good. We can fight that, no problem. Totally fine by me, but at the same time, they're probably doing that because they have 2 more frostbites, I'm assuming. I hope they don't make me use my test of talents here. They might. They probably have 2 more frostbites or a squash. We'll see. I might. Oh, they let it resolve actually. So nope, that's not the case at all. That's interesting. I could have used the test of talents either way. So I was safe either way. I just would have preferred it this way so I can do my game plan, which was to decisive denial their quake or the calamity bringer or bearer. So that's dead. Now if we could just memory deluge into an all runs epiphany, we should have this thing all wrapped up. That's also really nice. All right. That's going to gain us so much life here with this Coma. One, two, three, four, five, and it still leaves me enough mana to again decisive denial. Test of talents is also a thing we can do, but decisive denial going to be probably the card we end up playing here. We're going to gain 8 life, which is phenomenal. Even without the all runs epiphany to close, we still had this, you know, this game won and locked up. And I think I honestly made a couple of, you know, mistakes that I probably could have avoided, to be honest, but we'll take it either way. We will definitely take it. Man, these control lists have really been coming through for me lately. I'm super glad that, you know, Innistrad brought the cards that they did, because, you know, control was struggling there towards the tail end of that last season and that last set. But this one, man, it's this new set has really brought control back for me, and I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, that's fine. I've got more than enough life now, so I don't really care. Send your 1 damage down. We've got plenty of answers here. Like I said, we got the decisive denial again. Test of talents here is really good against the glimpse. So they had squash in their hand, huh? Interesting. Pretty useless now, but all right, let's get through there. We got the all runs epiphany, so this game's wrapped up and ready to go. And scoops. That's typically how this goes. Okay, let us play it out. Let's get in there. GG's, -20, man. Talk about a comeback. Absolutely finished the game strong, dominated the board. You'll love to see it. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video, you guys have no idea how much that actually helps out The YouTube algorithm loves seeing people staying in the videos longer. So thank you so much for helping my videos grow and get pushed out to more people. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay footage. I thought the deck performed phenomenally. I like it a lot. I wish we would have seen some more matchups with Ren and 7. We never even got to try out our game plan. But I do think it's a very cool deck, and I think it would do fairly decent in those matchups. But as far as things I would change, the only card I think I would change is maybe the Inscription. I know it saved our butt one time, and it came through for us big time in one of those games. But I do want to find a different way to maybe gain life incrementally. I know Innkeeper is a thing, but we don't play a lot of creatures, so it might not be worth it. But maybe we can up the Revelry to 4 copies. There are things we could probably do to make that a little bit better. I do like Faithful Absence, by the way. I personally don't like the feeling of playing it and giving up a clue. But like I said in the intro, I think this card plays really well with our deck, being that we can stop them from sacrificing it. The Yondu's Inversion, you know, eliminates it. And the fact that most of the time we're using this is against an aggressive deck who's not trying to draw cards anyways. So if you sweep the board, you know, then give them a clue late in the game, it's not really going to change the difference when we have so much card advantage through the Deluge, the Divide by Zeros, the Revelries, the Teachings. We have so many ways to draw cards. It's really not that important to us. But yeah, guys, I really enjoyed the deck. If you have any ideas on how to make this thing better, leave it in the comments below. I'd really appreciate the feedback, as well as it helps the algorithm, guys. So if you guys want to comment, please feel free to comment. It helps out a lot. I try to read them all and try to get back to you the best I can. Sometimes it's a little later than most, but yeah, I'd really appreciate that. And lastly, before I head out, there's a live stream tonight if you guys want to hang out with us tonight, and a video coming out on Friday, so don't miss out on that. But lastly, Marty Mob, thank you guys so much for being part of the Marty Mob. Thank you so much for helping our channel grow financially. You know, all the support you guys give, it's been incredible. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal with the support, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. So shout out to the Marty Mob as usual. If you guys want to get shouted out on the Marty Mob, become a member today by hitting the join button down next to the subscription button, or you can hit a link in the description if you don't see the join button. But either way, it'll tell you all about the Marty Mob, all the perks and benefits you get from the Marty Mob. And yeah, that's going to do it, guys. That's the end of the video. I'm out of breath. I probably should have tried to breathe more during that. But anyways, that's going to do it, guys. We'll see you tonight on the live stream. Peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. Yeah. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. Yeah, MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man, man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.